I am so excited to talk about this film, considering the political season. It is election season here. So I want to introduce you to the filmmakers behind a documentary that gives such insight in a humorous and fun and true way about how elections are run. Let's talk to the filmmakers behind Citizen Weiner.
Oh,
hey, we finally got you on. Oh my God.
That duck interview was unbelievable. He's
I'm glad you liked it.
I just want to say we're big fans. Cheers to Troy.
Hey, drinking light beer. I love it. We have ZACK WEINER, Joe Gallagher, and Daniel Robbins. I don't know if you guys are in the order of those names, but I saw your documentary a while back. I said, hey, when this doc comes out, I want to talk to you and thank you for coming on the show. Tell us, how did you get this idea to do this doc? I mean, it's and we're going to take a look at the trailer. I want to share the trailer with everyone. We'll do a trailer reaction, but tell us from whence this idea came.
So hi, I'm ZACK WEINER.
Yes, ZACK.
And I was over at Joe's house. We both were having a very bad day, and we were consoling each other, hanging out, talking, watching the news, toggling channel surfing.
I got fired. What happened with you?
I left a relationship. She ended the relationship. The relationship was terminated.
It fizzled out.
It was over. It ended, and it was a shame. We were both upset, and we were looking for something new to do. We're going through channels. There's a Bernie Sanders rally, there's a Trump rally, and there's a WWE match. And we're noticing the pageantry between all these rallies and events, and the wrestling event are really eerily similar. So we started talking about, is there a way to make a film about that and demonstrate and kind of lean into some of the showmanship that comes into politics, but do it at a local level, do it in the city council race where it's less heated and people don't get all as worked up. We brought the idea to Daniel. Daniel was a big fan and had a lot of excellent ideas on how to I think they saw a bug on how to implement it and make it as good as possible. And we went from there. And that was a while ago. That was 2019.
3.5 years in the making.
Yeah.
Well, I have the trailer queued up. Do you mind if we all watch the trailer together? I think it's important to give our audience, over 2,500 people watching live, let's give them a taste of this film because I'm a big fan of it. So here, I'm going to add it here. I know how this works. Here we go. Let's watch the trailer together. Alan, you know what to do?
Yes.
Do you have any experience in actual politics?
Well, I ran for treasurer in high school at 9th grade, so it was again kind of a precocious endeavor. And
did you win?
No.
Here in New York, there's a big election tomorrow, and there's some shocking news out of that race. Manhattan candidate ZACK WEINER.
Weiner?
Weiner.
ZACK Weiner.
Hey.
Excuse me, are you a registered Democrat? Oh, thank you.
1% for ZACK WEINER.
It's just one vote. Maybe we could find, do we know the name of that person?
You're not supposed to be here today.
She lives there?
She does not live here.
I don't live here, but I am here. Whenever somebody that needs to respect him is here, we pretend it's his apartment.
It is. Don't.
No, it isn't.
Chill out.
All you ever hear about in the news anymore is bad, bad, bad. This is the kind of stuff the world needs to hear more about.
Come on. This is the day I broke the system.
How are you feeling about that?
Incredibly confident.
I have to time you up.
What the hell am I looking at?
Is this legal?
We're definitely evaluating
Thanks
it.
for comment. The candidate said,
New York City Council candidate is receiving attention online.
Little soy boy, male feminist sort.
He ain't going to get elected.
please leave. Actually, I'm gonna look like the biggest scumbag in the world.
I'm not for his constant and habitual lies.
I have no fear of getting in trouble. I know that what we did is perfectly above board.
Please stop.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay to live at home with your mom.
and it's okay to have a sex tape. But you can't do both.
I'm like 90% sure this is a mockumentary.
And what's the other 10%?
The other 10% is that this is a real documentary that happens to be following an interesting candidate.
Okay, that obviously I've seen the movie, but holy cow! I mean, as crazy as the movie gets, maybe it's not quite as crazy as our current election season. The sex tape alone was brilliant. How much is real and mockumentary? What can you tell us?
Who wants to take this?
I think Daniel. I think
It's all real. Just
That's a question that interested us in making the project, is that they felt like politicians almost feel like wrestlers, and that when people watch wrestling, everyone pretends like this is real, even though it's fake. And it felt like that was happening with politics, where people would say certain lines or like make big statements at their rally or write something on Twitter, and they were all being performative but acting like it was real. So we thought, what if we get a bunch of actors together and run a campaign? Would that feel real, and how far would it get? And then, of course, it culminated with this sex tape that was leaked. It's unclear if that was part of the film or if that just—
You'll have to see the film to find out.
We did really run. So that's an important distinction. That's one thing, is that people don't always realize watching and they assume mockumentary, but we actually got on the ballot.
And Zach got 1,000 votes.
I got in the end. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, so it has a truthiness, as Colbert would say, right? Truthiness, but I love it, and it shows the kind of the BS behind politics. I had a friend of mine who was a cameraman who he worked for Trump, he worked for Hillary. He is a shooter. That's all he does. He's not political, and he just said our politics today is a show. It's a reality show, and I think you exposed that in a very funny way.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. That was the goal. That was the idea, is that people, it's this performance. Everyone knows at this point the curtain has kind of fallen and everyone's just still pretending as if it's for real. And a lot of our other opponents were acting as if they really cared about every single conversation about a fire escape or the garbage. We thought we're going to lean into more of this bombastic performative nature of it, and it was definitely an interesting time. There were ups and downs. The scandal wasn't the easiest thing in the world, for sure, because we weren't able to tell everyone that we were making a movie. So every single person in my life just thought I was just, having a good old fashioned dominatrix sex scandal. So that was definitely challenging. But
I would venture to say maybe the most commitment anyone's ever given to a movie. I would say what Zach did in this movie. I'll say it. I don't know if you.
Well, Christian Bale lost all that weight.
Yeah, but
no one shamed him for it. He looked good.
Hey, we've got 2,500 people watching live. We have a lot of questions from our chat. Do you mind taking questions?
Be honored. Love to.
Here we go. All right. I'll put them up on screen. Red French Moon for €2. That was great. Merci, Film Threat. Big thanks. Aid Ellis 24. A wiener I can get behind. There you go. Davina Duckworth. They should have campaigned in an Oscar Mayer wiener mobile.
Yeah, we have more of these comments too.
We would have had
a lot of wiener jokes.
That's an amazing idea.
I'm sure you're used to it. Adel's 24. If you could offer one piece of campaign advice to anyone currently running for office this year, what would it be? What was your dumbest mistake in retrospect?
I'll let Joe take dumbest mistake. I think in terms of he can get into that. What I'd recommend, and what we've been talking about, is if you're running, to do something while you're running, because I think it's so frustrating that every politician, when they're running or in office a lot, are saying, we need to change this. We need to fix the schools. We need to improve the fire hydrants, whatever it is. And then you don't see any action from them. And these campaigns, that's something we do. We open a little pop-up shop. These campaigns, when you run, you have a lot of resources. So especially if you're running and you're an outsider candidate, I think it's a really good way to get attention and just kind of put forward, make your idea real. And as for dumbest mistakes, I don't think I made a single mistake. So I really let Joe.
It was a flawless campaign. A flawless campaign.
What did you say? It was toxic positivity.
Toxic positivity.
Yeah, that's a real thing. More questions here. Look at these brilliant young lads. I have hope again, says Joe Chapman.
Thank you, Joe.
And
Citizenleader.com.
Benjamin says, cool to see McLovin got into public service. Oh, that's good. And here's another one. Immortal Remus for $4.99. You guys borrowed everything out of the wrestling playbook, including blurring all the lines between work and a shoot. There really was a blur between, I mean, it's real. There are things that happen that are real. There are things that might have been real adjacent. But that's also the world of wrestling in a way.
They make contact in wrestling. You hit the mat. Sorry, you're gonna say something.
Yeah,
it's true. And you have like Triple H and his relationship with
Stephanie
McMahon.
Yeah.
Like they're married in real life, and that was a plot line too. And how they just melt, and you don't know where it starts and where it ends. And we definitely had fun with.
And we could have won. It was not super likely.
Davina Duckworth, regarding politics, my belated Wiener campaign motto is the best of the worst, unless you already used it.
That is
really
excellent.
Yeah, that's really
And
good.
Was there something that surprised you or scared you while you were running? That something you weren't expecting?
I think something that scared us a little is that so little attention is paid to policy. Like Zach and Joe actually had ideas, but nothing was reported on ever. And then he had one sex tape, and not only did it get reported on by local outlets, national outlets, international outlets. And Zach had a good quote. He said, "People pay a lot more attention to car crashes than fixing roads." And you know it intellectually, but actually experiencing it and seeing how, like, you know, these smart guys like Colbert, I view him as an intellectual, good guy. Like they just, even though that's their intentions, they can't, you know, they're not reporting on the things that really might matter.
I think something that scared me a lot was watching, because we were running more and we were paying, like you're saying, people don't pay attention to a lot of the fixing of the roads and handling these problems. We were making fun of these politicians. Suddenly part of that was, as we're filming them, investigating what they're responsible for. And then you start to realize, oh my God, it seems small. It's just a neighborhood, but it has big consequences. So they're being ridiculous and being so fake in front of the camera, but then they're in charge of hotels that were packed with homeless men, and they're just lying. And you're like, wait, there's a lot going on in there. This is
major services. Certain areas of every constituency need major services. So
it becomes a lot scarier. And like, it's Parks and Rec, but then also like, you know, lives are at stake.
And they're in charge of the education budget and police budget. Like everyone obsesses over national politics, but local is, you feel it a lot stronger.
Yeah, they have so much money. If every council person has hundreds of thousands, some of them have $1 million that they could just spend at their own discretion. They're given every year.
The hope from this is most council people are over the age of 60. Like if we can energize young people to run, you know, locally, you can have fun with your friends and really make a tangible difference in the community.
You just got to take your clothes off. That's the key.
To get attention. And the question everyone is asking in the chat, Red French Moon, when is it released on VOD? I want to see it.
Amazing. Thank you, Red French Moon. It's going to be October 29th on Apple.
Yeah.
Amazon.
If you go to citizenwiener.com, we have a link. We're trying, because in order to get a streaming deal, we're trying to get iTunes pre-sales, because if we get enough, they all land on the first day, and then you can get into the top 10, and then we could hopefully get on a streamer.
And we'd love for you to see it. Most of all, Red French Moon, most important of all. So please, October.
I found it. I found Citizen Wiener.
And on the internet. Discount for the next 2 days, and then I think they lift the price to like 13, but right now it's like $7.99.
Yeah, $7.99 right now.
So you can pre-order it. I'll put the link here.
Or if you find Zach on Twitter, I'm sure he'll just send a link.
That's true.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Elect Wiener on Twitter.
Love it. Guys, this is awesome. please, in this political season, I think the best thing we can do is probably laugh at how crazy things have gotten. So everyone is giving props to Weiner on is that wait, this is it, right? Citizen, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's it. And then
That's the one.
scroll down a little, it has all the buttons.
Yes, and merch. Here you go, Zach Weiner, District 6 campaign hats. Love it.
In case he runs again.
Yes, do it. Amazing. Guys, thank you so much for coming on the show, telling us about the film. It is Citizen Weiner. It is out October 29th on VOD. Pre-order it. Go to citizenweiner.com. Amazing. And what you guys are going to vote? You're registered to vote?
Of course.
Of course.
Of course. We encourage everybody to get out the vote. Go vote for what you believe in.
Vote.
Awesome. And who exactly are you going to vote for?